In the heart of the Ebon Mountains lay the lost dwarven stronghold of Kelnoth, its riches whispered about in taverns and marketplaces across the land. The tale spoke of a treasure so vast it could buy entire kingdoms. Enticed by the legend, a diverse group of adventurers gathered at the foot of the mountains, ready to embark on a journey to find this hidden fortune. The group consisted of Karnos, a grizzled warrior with a sharp sword and a sharper wit, Aluria, an elven archer with eyes as keen as her arrows, Torvin, a dwarf cleric who had heard the stories of Kelnoth from his grandfather and longed to reclaim his heritage, and Nila, a nimble thief whose fingers were as light as her feet. Leading them was Valoria, a powerful mage whose knowledge of ancient lore had guided them to this perilous venture. Their journey through the Ebon Mountains was fraught with danger. Treacherous paths and biting winds tested their resolve, but each step brought them closer to their goal. Finally, after weeks of arduous travel, they stood before the entrance of Kelnoth, hidden beneath a veil of vines and centuries of neglect. "Here it is," Torvin whispered, his voice filled with awe and reverence, "the lost stronghold of my ancestors." Karnos took a step forward, his hand resting on the hilt of his sword. "Let's see what waits inside." The adventurers entered the dark halls of Kelnoth, their torches casting flickering shadows on the stone walls adorned with ancient dwarven runes. The air was thick with dust and the scent of forgotten ages. As they ventured deeper, they encountered the remnants of traps and guardians left by the dwarves to protect their treasures. Nila's agility and keen senses were put to the test as she disarmed hidden mechanisms designed to thwart intruders. Aluria's arrows flew true, striking down skeletal sentinels that emerged from the shadows. Torvin's knowledge of dwarven craftsmanship guided them through the maze-like corridors, while Karnos' strength and courage kept the group safe from harm. Valoria's magic illuminated their path and deciphered the ancient runes revealing secrets long buried. Finally, they reached the grand hall of Kelnoth. At its center lay the fabled treasure mountains of gold, jewels that sparkled like stars and artifacts of immense power. The adventurers stood in awe, their dreams realized. As they began to gather the treasure, a deep rumble echoed through the hall. The ground shook, and from the depths emerged the guardian of Kelnoth, a massive stone golem awakened by their intrusion. "We have to fight," Karnos shouted, drawing his sword. The battle was fierce. Karnos and Torvin engaged the golem head-on, their weapons clashing against its stone form. Aluria's arrows found the creature's weak points, while Nila darted around it, striking with precision. Valoria's magic crackled through the air, weakening the golem's defenses. With a final mighty blow from Karnos' sword, the golem crumbled into rubble. The adventurers, bruised but triumphant, stood amidst the remains of their foe. "The treasure is ours," Torvin said, his voice filled with pride and joy. As they filled their packs with gold and jewels, they knew their lives would be forever changed. Yet, it was not just a treasure they had found, but a bond of friendship forged in the fires of their adventure. Leaving the halls of Kelnoth, the adventurers emerged into the light of a new dawn, their hearts full of the promise of the future and the stories they would tell of the lost dwarven stronghold and the treasure within. As they returned back to civilization, they encountered a horde of skeletons rising from their graves and attacking the townsfolk. They tried to fend off the undead horde and protect the village, but in vain. The undead were killing the townsfolk, and the murdered ones were turned to undead mindless ghouls, attacking the adventurers as well. All seemed lost, but then a fire started that protected the adventurers from the advancing horde. A shadowy figure emerged behind them and said, "So, you're the ones who took the cursed treasure. Follow me if you want to undo what you have done." The shadowy figure was Albia, a rogue with demonic blood. The adventurers followed her in haste and escaped the skeletal horde.